Okay, let's go again, because that last game was a bit too easy. So 2237. So chess80. Is it going to be a pin variation or something? I think I'll take on c6 here. And now e5. This looks like it's all theory so far. So black is provoking me to play a f4 move. It's all theory. Might add some pressure on the d6 square in this variation. There's a nice pause here, so maybe my opponent isn't totally familiar. But he chose the defense as black, so probably being optimistic. He's probably deciding which evil variation to choose now to cause maximum pain and discomfort. Check, hey? That's an interesting move. I don't think I'm familiar with that. I think, is c3 just playable here? There's no knight takes c3. Can I just play bishop d3? Because there's no bishop a6 now, with the idea of queen a5 and queen takes a6. So he's deprived himself of bishop a6. If he has to play a5, then I've got queen e2, again delaying black trying to exchange off that light squared bishop. So I think this is favourably different from usual now. Okay, f5. I think I'll leave my pawn chain intact. Let's play knight f2. So I'm getting queen e2, targeting this bishop on c8 to remain quite bad. But there's a few questions. What is my plan after queen a2? Is it a3 and c4 myself? So queen e2 to stop bishop a6. Maybe I'll want to unpin this knight at some point as well. Okay, if I play a3 now, then I can answer bishop a6 with c4. So trying to get rid of that powerful knight on d5. So now bishop e3. Is he really wanting the exchange of bishops? Because that d6 might get a bit more useful to me after that bishop exchange. So now maybe king h1 to unpin. And now I think rook d1 to d2 looks good to try and put more pressure on the d file, tying that bishop to the d7 pawn, and maybe hope to play rook d6 at some point. But I am being tied down now to that c4 pawn, and maybe he's got rook b3 as counterplay. So I don't know how I'm going to reduce this counterplay. Maybe knight d1 to e3 protects c4, prepares g4. If the knight's on e3, maybe that is better. On the other hand, g4 immediately to try and get an attack is also tempting. I'm not sure, but on the other hand, knight d1 to c3 would neutralise the rook on this third rank. Okay, so I wonder, g4 immediately too aggressive? I don't think so. I'll play it. I'm going to try and rip open this diagonal in the g file. Maybe I can even sack the c4 pawn at some point, just to gain a bit of time for this attack. If he has to play g6, I'm not really convinced by it. I would take a rook g1. Okay, queen takes g4, sacking c4. If bishop c4, rook c1 anyway, I'm not sure how c4 is defended. Alright, although maybe he could counter-attack against the rook on e3, so maybe rook c2 is more accurate. Then if d5 ed and then the rook c4. Okay, he's not tempted with the c4 pawn. So onwards with the attack, rook g1, maybe f5 coming up. Okay, is bishop h7 any good? Or queen h5, simple and strong? Or knight e4? Knight e4 is actually very tempting. But then queen e3. But then rook g3, then queen e1. Don't know. Maybe knight e4, queen e3, knight d6, queen d2, knight f7. What about just queen h6? It's queen h5. It just, I don't know, seems logical to attack h7. There's no knight on f6. This pawn chain's aggressive because of that pawn on e5 stopping a knight on f6. Now, maybe just queen Queen G6 or Queen H6. Just Queen H6. Just nabbing a pawn. Now Queen H7 is threatened. Queen H8 just wins the rook on B8. So I think I'm a bit more awake today. I don't know, it seems a lot easier to play this 5-minute if you're more awake. You see more resources, I don't know. I have a feeling my commentary's been a bit clearer in this game than the previous. Queen B4 seems to get rid of the queens as well. There doesn't seem to be that much counterplay to factor in here. Having said that, I've just dropped that pawn, so rook G4. Right, maybe I want an outside pass queen pawn with B5, but then this diagonal could be useful.
Black resigns.
It's resigned. So that seems a bit too easy. Let's have a quick look at that. So it started off theoretically, but I wasn't really impressed with this bishop B4 check.
Check.
I think Black can play bishop A6 here, and if bishop A6, Queen A5. So I thought I was the one that was supposed to be weak on theory, but I don't know. So C3, let's have a seemingly comfortable position. And A3 here, so bishop A6, C4. It seems a bit slow, this A5, but I guess he did that pawn on A4 was potentially useful, but it's not the scariest thing in the world to face when I've got moves like G4 trying to rip open the G file, so I can almost let my queen side fall apart a bit, because this attack is just pretty damn vicious, especially when it wins a rook. So hope you enjoyed that. Please leave any comments or questions on YouTube. Thanks very much.